Is it intuition or is it anxiety? I get asked this question a lot. And in my research, what I found, I hear the same thing. Intuition is calm, anxiety feels rushed. But what are you supposed to do with that information? So I want to talk about how to tell the difference. So first of all, intuition and anxiety are not in competition. Intuition doesn't compete. It persists. It persists with truth. Truth about you. Truth about what's right for you. Truth about what to stop doing. I use the term greater intelligence, but you'll hear me referring to greater intelligence, intuition, and gut instinct synonymously throughout this video. When a person says, I can't tell the difference between intuition and fear, what's actually happening is there are a bunch of unanswered questions running beneath the surface. What questions are those? Those are the questions of, what should I do? Why am I like this? How do I do this differently? Should I keep going? Should I stop? Should I stay? Should I go? And if you're not listening to your greater intelligence and intuition, if you're not saying yes to your yes and no to your no, those questions are going to keep looping. And they're going to contribute to the anxiety, the fear, and the uncertainty. So here's something that's a bit deeper. It's never a question of whether or not your intuition, your greater intelligence are telling you the truth. On some level, you do know. What's happening is that you are probably afraid that if you say yes to your yes or no to your no, that it's going to require you to change. You're going to have to make some changes in your life, either financially, relationally, with your body, with your health, with how you think, with how you perceive, with your routines. Now, I'm not saying you need to make all these changes all at once. I'm saying that somewhere inside, you're probably uncertain that if you say yes to your intuition, that your changes are going to be so disruptive, so painful, you're going to have so much loss that you don't think you can handle the unknown of some big, unforeseen events. But intuition doesn't lead us into danger. It leads us into freedom. And if we spent more time making small decisions that follow our intuition, we would gather proof and evidence gently, quietly, consistently that our intuition is right. We don't have to make a big announcement about it. We don't have to make these huge life decisions. You can simply make small decisions. Okay? Now, here's some more ways of being able to tell the difference between your greater intelligence and your anxiety or your fears. Your greater intelligence doesn't ask, is that it? Should I? It doesn't ask questions like that. It makes statements. Yes, this is right. Or no, don't go any further. It's not loud, it's not intense, it's not frenetic, it's not emotional, it's not complex in its delivery. It's simple. Yes and no. So you could do an experiment right now, or maybe pause the video. Think of something that you've been told. Maybe it's something you read in an article, or something that I'm saying, or perhaps something you've been considering. And ask yourself, is this my intuition telling me that what I'm reading or hearing is right? And if your head starts to go like this, because it will, or it'll go, and it'll start to tilt or nod or pull back, that's your no. That's muscle testing right there. The body's response. Yes is its yes and no is its no. So you can practice by saying, is what I'm hearing or reading right for me? Is it my intuition telling me, yes, continue going in this direction? It's okay for me to agree with this. That's a powerful question. Is it okay for me to agree with this? Because your intuition, your greater intelligence is going to know, yes, let that in. Yes, move in that direction. Continue to build connection with that idea or that person. Or it'll say, and it'll pull back, and you can feel the pullback, even just a little bit. Okay, so your body's already communicating with you. So, as I mentioned, anxiety is not going to be competing with intuition, and intuition is not competing with anxiety. They're two different things. Anxiety is a signal. Okay, anxiety is not a decision. It's not a drive to try to steer you away from your intuition. It is a signal that you've been ignoring it. Now, I'm not saying all anxiety is caused by ignoring your intuition. I'm saying a good amount of it is. Because when we follow our greater intelligence, one ordinary moment at a time, step by step, we are led out of pain, out of symptoms, out of looping, and into evolution and our advancement and our intelligence. So let's talk about some of the changes. So if you are saying, yes, I care about listening to my greater intelligence, my gut instinct, more and more, I'm going to notice it. I'm going to tell myself to recognize it and nod for my yeses and say no to my no's, and I'm going to notice it more. I've decided. What's going to happen is you are going to change your body's chemistry. You're essentially telling your body it's okay to be different. Now here's the hard part. Your body, chemically, physiologically, endocrinologically speaking, has built up pathways, neurological, hormonal, chemical pathways from habits of going against yourself. And these habits persist. So when you go to change, you're actually going to be changing the infrastructure of certain receptor sites and cells. That's hard because it feels like you're going to be going against yourself. Now, what happens when the body adapts to chemistry and habits of going against yourself, you've actually adapted to ignoring your intuition, and that feels chemically normal. So when you go to change it, you are changing your own chemistry. And you'll be glad you did. So after so much time of ignoring your intuition, your body had programmed itself to adapt to lower levels of homeostasis. I call that maladaptation. But the irony is brutal because the very pain that you thought that you would ignore, that you would avoid by not following your intuition, is the pain that you create by ignoring it. Okay, so the more you say no to your intuition's yes, and you say yes to your intuition's no, the more you force your system to maladapt to conditions that aren't right for you. And that's going to create its own anxiety because you have inner conflict. Okay? And there's fears going on in there. And some of the feedback mechanisms in your system that maintain that physiological maladaptation have to do with being a part of and agreeing with lower codes, lower consciousness in the grids of humanity. And so, welcome to the new age. I'm here to tell you that 99.999% of the people in the world are not going to go against you if you decide to say yes to your greater intelligence. They're not going to jump in your way and try to stop you. And if there are people who are going to judge you or withhold their love from you or say that you can't be a part of their group because you're doing what's right for you, I mean, do you really want to justify yourself to those people anymore? It's something to think about. And so the more you say yes to your yes and no to your no, you're right. You will be making changes in your life. And I guarantee you, as you make these changes, you're going to be more okay with the felt sense of freedom and health and connection with people who support you in this. And so I care about people accessing and utilizing their greater intelligence because guess what? That means that they are going to be healthier, they're going to be smarter, they're going to feel freer, they're going to feel more creative, they're going to feel more alive. And the world needs that. And I know that changing the world right now is a really big job. And I'm like, how can I help? Well, I can help by helping other people access their greater intelligence. And I have so many different ways that I'm going about doing that. I have a lot of classes and courses and free education, and I'm just putting out as much as I can. And I will say that a foundation to accessing your greater intelligence, because it's there, sorting it out from your imagination, your programming, your education, other people's opinions, needs to be taught. You need to be shown how to do it. And the most direct way I know how to do that is through accurate muscle testing. Now, I spent the last 12 years deeply and rigorously being taught and practicing muscle testing, and I use it for healing my body, helping other people heal theirs, accessing benevolence, accessing information that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to do on my own. And I care about passing that on so that more people have access to their greater intelligence and to higher sources of consciousness. So if you're interested in a muscle testing class, I think that's great because then you're going to improve your access to your greater intelligence. I also have a bunch of free articles and different toolkits on my Substack because, again, I really care about making the world a better place, and this is my legacy. So if you found this video useful, please share it with people who you know care about accessing their body's intelligence, accessing their intuition, and who want to come alive more and feel the freedom of being in their true nature.